Hello, good morning. I am getting ready for work. I was really exhausted yesterday. I was hoping to do some work on the Earth Angel project and maybe do a video last night, but I don't know, this week has been really hard for me. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if it's my hormones, if it's the full moon, or if it's me just getting older. But, and you know, my job, as much as I love it, I do work with some jerks. No, I don't. I mean, it's not perfect, and sometimes, and it's very physical. I'll be honest with you, and I'm 51 now. So, being on my feet all day and can be a little exhausting, I'll be honest with you. So, I'm hitting the end of the week and I'm tired. I'm really tired. And I'm a little, I don't know, maybe it's because the holidays are coming up. Even though I trust the universe and everything that's supposed to be happening right now, you know, things get a little heavy. And I am missing my daughter like crazy. But I'm trusting that things are happening as they should be. Oh, crap. And, yeah, I've been a little in my head, I'll be honest with you, the last few days. And I have not been sleeping well. I've been getting up consistently every day this week between 3:30 and 4 every morning. And Pancho likes it because I take him out. I mean, I get home like at 7:30 at night and I just come to my room. I don't even eat. I take a shower. I lay down and I work a little bit on the Earth Angel project. And I did allow myself one guilty pleasure. I have been watching, I finally finished it, the Murdoch Show on Hulu, which I hadn't really watched something like that in a while, but I love Patricia Arquette. I really like her. I loved her show Medium. Oh my God, that show was one of my favorites. I really liked that. Anyway, but she did an amazing job in this, and the guy that played the father, the murderer, was just incredible. Everyone in that cast was amazing. So if you get a chance to watch it, it is one I would recommend. And it kind of made me think about like what's happening currently in the US and with a lot of people, you know, specifically like Trump and stuff. I know it's not the same thing, but if you watch this series, you know, this guy, he almost thought he was a god. For decades, he got away with, you know, just with his charm and his family name and, you know, the good old boys club. He was, you know, one face of this good old boy and the other of a purely diabolical, drug-inflicted piece of shit. I mean, he turned into one. He could have been a good guy, but he ended up becoming just but on the outside, you know, he had these 2 sons, he had this wife, he had this, you know, flourishing reputation and practice. But the reality was it had been built on a lot of deception and a corrupt father and bloodlines that had, well, maybe not as corrupt as him, but they'd never disciplined, kind of like Trump. Well, they were built on shit, but they never disciplined him, the father. He was never held accountable for his actions. And it ended up going on into his kids, which is kind of like Trump with his kids. But in the end, as his house of cards starts to fall, you know, all he does is he tries to maintain control over it, but his addictions get worse, and in the end, it's devastating. Like, how far he went. He literally killed his, and I have no doubt this cunt did it. He literally killed his own flesh and blood and his wife. I mean, and if you watch it, you see how, bless her heart, and she enabled him, but she certainly fucking didn't deserve that, his wife. And she was trying to get away from him, and her intuition told her not to go back home. Her poor sister feels so bad because she told her, oh, he needs you, you know, go say goodbye to your father-in-law, who did love and respect her. And he used her empathy and her kindness to get her to come back to the house. You know how sad it is that he, and in the end, Buster, his son, I don't know if he actually asked him this, but I think it kind of clicks for him that his dad did it, because he's like, you know, why didn't you ask for me to go home that day? Because his son, the little, if you follow the story, it started off when his son got into a boat wreck, and one of the girls came up missing. And, you know, there were signs way before then that he was very, very, very troubled. And all they did was cover it up. They never got him real help. But he had one son that was in college, that was going to law school, that I guess he felt was his last dying hope. And he didn't ask him to come home. Because had he asked him to come home, he would have had to have killed him too. I mean, it's just so sad. And the son comes to realize that. But kind of made me wonder, like, well, how far would Trump go at this point? I think he pressed a nuclear button before he would try and admit to how bad things are. But anyway, yeah, that was a really, really good show. And I think, you know, for the last decade at least, or at least since 2020, karma is starting to catch up with some people. And deeds that had happened a long time ago are starting to come to the forefront. And people that may have even forgot about some of the shit that they got away with are going to be having to deal with that. So yeah, I was feeling a little unmotivated. And I guess there was a new moon last night. And I did a little bit of mental, you know, affirmations and release, but usually I do more of a formal one, and I was just too tired to do it last night. And this morning, you know, I woke up, been having some unsettling dreams. I need to clear out my space. At least it's Friday. I know it's the end of the week, and physically I'm tired. And today at work, we have to prep everything for the weekend. So yes, it will be a little bit crazier. So I'm mentally preparing myself, and that's why I've saged. I've got my meditation music. I've got my snoring Frenchie next to me, all snuggled up with me before I go into work. And I thought I would journal and just, you know, before I woke up really early again, even though I went to bed I got up at 3:30, and I was able to go back to bed about 4:30. And then I was up by 7 or 6:45 again. So I started doing some work on the Earth Angel project, and I'm listening to a little bit of tarot. I'm kind of tired of this Earth Angel story. It's been just so fucking redundant. So I listened to one of my favorite podcasters, and it's called The Conspiracy Files. And he's done multiple on Epstein, but the one that he did today, he released a few hours ago, maybe about 3 hours ago, I just listened to, and that's why I had to light some sage and do some shit. Like, the shit that this guy was involved in it's so much bigger than Trump. Trump wants us to think, oh my God, it's so much bigger than Trump. I mean, he's totally connected, but holy shit. It's enraging how our country has failed us. This is before Trump. You know, the worthless FBI, which is now indicative of the leader that they have now with his little cockeyed crap. Like how the mighty have fallen, and we deserve it as a country. We have literally sold out our children. We have sold our souls, all under blackmail. There have been devils living among us who have infiltrated the highest levels of everything. It's not just government, it's tech. And I don't care. I know people are like, you're going crazy, you're such a conspiracy theorist. I have been called worse. Pay attention and watch. Just watch that video. God, if anyone is listening to me, you don't even have to listen to me. This is not just crazy conspiracy. This is actual legal documented multiple accounts of people, even in the current administration, that are saying that there was a huge black male ring going across, and it wasn't just Epstein diddling little girls, which is horrible in itself. It's talking about purposely undercover agents, alphabet boys, CIA, KBG, IDF, what's the one for England? Like, it's horrible. Just to get dirt, starting with Clinton, you know, so that they can control these men. And their weakness. And it's all for money, and it's disgusting. And you know, even now, like the White House hosting a leader that literally had an American citizen chopped up in pieces while he was still alive. You can hear him screaming. And these people walking out with body parts. Like, it's disgusting what they did to this American reporter. And to imply that he had it coming or he wasn't very liked. Well, you know what, Piggy, Donald Trump, we don't really fucking like you. So if someone were to chop you up in bits and pieces, should we just say, well, he kind of fucking deserved it? Because if anyone fucking deserves it, it's that neck twat. But even I wouldn't wish that on him. I'd want him to witness his own fucking downfall. Death would be too easy for that stupid piece of shit cunt. And yes, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck that he's the president of the United States. How did he get that title? You think he got it because he's a good guy? Fuck you. Ugh. And yes, I totally believe he had everything to do with Epstein being killed. He had everything to do with his wife being killed. He had everything to do with the cover-up. He's just the biggest piece of shit. And seeing Musk, his bitch, back in the most insecure piece of shit ever, who has his own grok trying to build him up because daddy didn't love him. Waste your money on that shit instead of helping save the world. Oh my God. I'm telling you. If I ruled the world, these motherfuckers wouldn't have any type of platform. They would be locked under the jail. Oh my goodness. So, all right, I'm not going to say, I'm telling you, watching that really got me. I mean, it's everything that I've been talking about for the past few. It's crazy, like in my channeling, all the stuff that I've been saying about Israel and how it's all connected and blah, 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 blah. And I wasn't just making that shit up. It's actually documented, and it is coming out. So it gets a little heavy listening to that. And today, I'm not going to lie, I had a little session, and I'm like, after I listened to that, I did my own form of prayer, and that was like, where the fuck are you, God? Like, where the fuck are you, higher power? There were so many people that told the government about Epstein and what he was doing, and they had so many opportunities since 1996 at least, that's documented, to do something about this cunt, and they wouldn't. And so yeah, it made me, channeling the Earth Angel, made me furious. But little Terry De La Rosa, who told her mom at 4 when it was happening to her and got returned to her babysitter, that's how it felt. So I'm grateful for this project, but sometimes, man, it really brings up some shit. And it makes me mad. And it makes me even angry at my higher power. Like, how much longer? How much longer do we have to keep tolerating all this craziness? People calling people little quiet piggy. That demon knows he's dying. He's about to be exposed. It's like that Murdoch piece of shit. He knew that his world was falling apart. He was one day away from having to give his financial records that were going to expose him. And so he killed his own son and daughter and wife. Like, what a piece of shit. And we've had this government shut down. We had the one young lady that was going to force the vote. And Trump knows that he has to. There's no winning for him here. He has to. He can't keep fighting it because it shows that he's a fucking pedophile. And it shows that he's protecting pedophiles. So they held off as long as they could while they try and scrub and doctor and modify and remove all the Republicans or the people that are paying him right now to keep their name out their mouth. And it's infuriating, and I'm tired. I mean, America's fucking tired. Not just America. People are tired of people just getting away with shit for so fucking long. Where the fuck are you? And my answer was, right here. Right here. Right here. That's where God is, where we're speaking up and we're speaking out and we're saying no mas. We're not letting it go. We're not letting them get away with this shit. And I don't want my daughter to grow up in this world. I remember in 2016 when she was like, why is that mean man? Why is he on TV? Why is he so... Even she could see his spirit like I could. Donald Trump, when he was on TV, she was like, I don't like him. I'm like, I know, baby. I don't either. He's so ugly, Mom. He says ugly things. He does, doesn't he? And now she's 14, 15. My bad. But to Meghan R. Kelly, that's okay, right? Fuck you, bitch. She has a 13-year-old daughter. She won't even show her face on social media. That's the age that the girl was that was tied to a bed and raped by Donald Trump. Would you be okay with your daughter going through that? It's fucking disgusting. Having to cover this, choosing to cover this for 2 years on this project has ripped my soul apart. It's made me uncover skeletons and deep, deep wounds that I've had for my own trauma. But it's made me so fucking protective of my daughter that I don't even get to see very often. But I don't want her growing up in a world where people will justify, because now she's 15, that it's okay. Fuck y'all. So yeah, it is really, really heavy. It's been kind of heavy on me. And so it's been good at work, you know. I have a petty bitch that I work with who resents the fact that the team looks to me and respects me and goes towards my direction. So does little petty shit like, you can't be on your phone, or you can't be listening, you can't have your headset, you know, anyone that works in a kitchen knows we usually have music in the background while you're washing dishes or you're preparing food. It's just fucking ridiculous. But it's actually been kind of a blessing because I don't have to listen to, I mean, I'm working and I'm a workaholic on my Earth Angel project. So I listen to the podcast, I listen to all sorts of things, and then I download it when I get home, and I've been forced to kind of step away from that. And instead of looking at it being irritated with that insecure bitch that I work with, I hope he heals. It's actually been a blessing because it's been kind of heavy this week. And so I am, I'm grateful that I do work on this project, even though it can be exhausting and it can be tiring and it can be very, very heartbreaking. But I keep reminding myself that everything is happening as it should, even though it pisses me off. And I still don't fucking understand why little girls had to be raped. And little boys, by the way. Why men and women, but mostly men, succumb to their carnal desires and would kill their own families rather than be exposed for being the evil cunts that they are. Oh, and then in the Murdow dude, like, all he does is blame his fucking addiction. All he does is blame his fucking addiction. Fuck you. Oh, I was taking so many pills. You know, as someone in recovery, that's why they push all this stuff on us. Especially alcohol, especially pills, so that we can use that as justification for the evil things we do. And you can just keep masking accountability, keep masking looking in the fucking mirror, and blame it on addiction. It's funny, I was talking about the guy that I work with that I don't like very much, I'll be honest with you. And one of the reasons that I don't, and I do hope he heals, is that he has no compassion for the clients that work there. It is a rehab facilitation. And, you know, and he can be very mean. He's nice to some of the ladies. He's just one of those real creepy ones, you know, like, and you can tell what side he politically leans on, you know, even though his wife is a fucking immigrant and he lives in the basement of his parents' home, he still protects, you know, talks up billionaires and thinks immigrants don't deserve to be. He's such a idiot. Anyway, why was I bringing him? Oh, the reason I don't like him is how little compassion he has for people. And anytime we bring up recovery, you know, if people are coming up for a second thing of food or whatever, he's like, no, they can't have it. It's too much. We need to watch it. Like, it's this mean control. And it's just based out of cruelty. And it's because he really believes he's better than these people. And one day I was just like, hey, you know, I'm like 5 years sober, right? Almost 5 years sober. I was in recovery. I've been through these rehabs. He's like, yeah, well, then you know how they are. And I was like, motherfucker, people like that shouldn't be working in places like this. You know, the food that we're cooking, that's their food, not ours. You know, we won't give them seconds, but you get to feed all your little bitches in staff. You know, it's just, it really infuriates me. And I think about that, you know, and some come directly from jail. And he made a comment like, well, they're here because it's either that or jail. And I'm like, it's still a fucking choice. It's still a fucking choice to be there. And at least they're here and they're trying to get help. And you know what? I've gone through it 4 times. I didn't have to go to jail. I wasn't forced to. But I've gone through it. And it's hard. And the least we can do is provide them some comfort through food and not judge. I mean, these are people that lived on the streets. You know, as a child, I literally have food trauma. That's why I'm always bringing food home. Like, we had no food in our fridge because my mom was so fucking lazy. She wouldn't go to the grocery store. She'll even fucking admit that. 5 kids. The only meal I got was decent meal was, man, summer sucked. It was only at school. And during my high school years, I would pray that I would get babysitting jobs so that I could have something to eat that I would buy. And it was usually that thing of French fries at school. That was all I ate all day. So when you come in from living on the streets or prison food and you come to this cafeteria, fuck yeah. And the food is good, by the way, because it's cooked with love. You want more. But I was thinking about that. How people like Musk, who is clearly in the throes of his addiction, and no one can help him because he has too much money and he thinks too highly of himself. How much weaker he is than those men and those women in that rehab that I work at. How much more strength these people have than this trillionaire, wannabe trillionaire. How I would rather spend my days cooking and slaving literally over a hot stove for those people than spend any fucking moment in that piece of shit White House with a terrorist who funded 9/11. Which, of course, Trump was really glad because, you know, then he had the tallest building in New York. Isn't it so crazy how backwards this world is? You know? How we admire such weak men like Trump and Musk and Bezos. Ooh, who also has ties to, you got to watch that last one, Epstein Files. Oh, dark files. Those are the people that we worship, who are in throes of addiction. And, you know, I don't know that Bezos is on any substance or under any spell from that bruja, but he is absolutely addicted to money and power and control. And he would destroy, he didn't give a shit how many lives, just to feed his black soul, which will never, ever be cleansed. It will never be enough. It will never be enough. These fuckers don't get it. It will never be enough. So I pray every day that these fuckers hit rock bottom, that they get everything they fucking deserve, and not out of spite. There's a little bit of spite, I'm not gonna lie, because of how much damage they've done. But honestly, as a person in recovery, Because that's the only fucking way you'll heal. And you won't, like, to have that much influence over so many people. And look what you do. You just destroy lives. You make people go hungry. You make them depend on the government to make ends meet, just so that you can have a hotel on the water, just so you can hoard money that you'll never ever fucking use, just so that you can control people, so that they agree with your ideology, so that you won't be exposed for being the biggest cunts like Theo. I mean, the level of privacy that has been infiltrated, like, we have no idea how bad and how evil. I mean, they truly are the evil cabal. It's not even funny anymore. Doesn't feel, that's the way. I'll have to check that out. Anyway, So, after I said my prayer, like, where the fuck are you, God? Like, I literally was yelling that out today. I was crying. After I listened to that Epstein stuff, I'm just tired. I'm tired of this project. I'm tired of hearing about how evil. It's the same story. Tired of hearing about it. I think the country is. I think the world is. We're tired of fucking hearing about the bad guys continually getting away with shit. And I promise you, TikTok motherfuckers, they're coming. It's coming. It is coming. And that is why the world is so fucking crazy right now. Because it was just like in that movie, they'll do anything not to be exposed. Anything. Even destroy their own families, destroy their own fucking country. Destroy the world rather than to face the fucking mirror and to tell the truth. And I tell you, even when they're locked up under the jail because they still have sympathizers, they'll still deny it, because denying is easier than recognizing what pieces of shit they are. And so be it. Then so be it. As long as they're the fuck away from us. So, let me see what I can read today. And then I'm going to wrap up because I need to get back to work. And I can get out of this. Our inherited dysfunction. If we look more deeply into humanity's ancient religions and spiritual traditions, we will find that underneath the many surface differences, there are two core insights that most of them agree on. And I'm reading from this book. The words they use to describe those insights differ, yet they all point to a twofold fundamental truth. The first part of this truth is the realization that the normal state of mind of most human beings contains a strong element of what we might call dysfunction, or even madness. Certain teachings at the heart of Hinduism perhaps come closest to seeing this dysfunction as a form of collective mental illness. Wetiko. They call it Maya, the veil of delusion. Ramana Maharishi, one of the greatest Indian sages, bluntly states, the mind is Maya, madness. Buddhism uses different terms. According to the Buddha, the human mind in its normal state generates dukkha, which can be translated as suffering, unsatisfactoriness, or just plain misery. He sees it as a characteristic of human condition. Wherever you go, whatever you do, says the Buddha, you will encounter dukkha, and it will manifest in every situation sooner or later. According to Christian teachings, the normal collective state of humanity is one of the original sin. Sin is a word that has been greatly misunderstood and misinterpreted. Literally translated from the ancient Greek in which the New Testament was written, to sin means to miss the mark, as an archer who misses the target. To sin means to miss the point of human existence. It means to live unskillfully, blindly, and thus to suffer and cause suffering. Again, the term, stripped of its cultural baggage and misinterpretations, points to the dysfunction inherent of the human condition. The achievements of humanity are impressive and undeniable. We have created sublime works of music, literature, painting, architecture, and sculpture. More recently, science and technology have brought about radical changes in the way we live and have enabled us to do and create things that would have been considered miraculous even 200 years ago. No doubt, the human mind is highly intelligent, yet its very intelligence is tainted by madness. Bezos. Musk. Science and technology have magnified the destructive impact that the dysfunction of the human mind has upon the planet, other life forms, and upon humans themselves. That is why the history of the 20th century is where that dysfunction, that collective insanity, can be mostly clearly recognized. A further factor is that this dysfunction is actually intensifying and accelerating. Ain't this the fucking truth? I love you, Eckhart Tolle. I'm sorry I use bad words when I speak, when I'm reading from you. The First World War broke out in 1914. Destructive and cruel wars motivated by fear, greed, and desire for power has been common occurrences throughout human history, as has slavery, torture, and widespread violence inflicted for religious and ideological reasons. Humans suffered more at the hands of each other than through natural disasters. By the year 1914, however, the highly intelligent human mind had invented not only the internal combustion system engine, but also bombs, machine guns, submarines, flamethrowers, and poisonous gas. Intelligence in the service of madness. In static trench warfare in France and Belgium, millions of men perished to gain a few miles of mud. When the war was over in 1918, the survivors looked at the horror and incomprehension upon the devastation left behind. 10 million human beings killed and many more maimed and disfigured. Never before had human madness been so destructive in this effect, so clearly visible. Little did they know that this was only the beginning. By the end of the century, the number of people who died a violent death at the hands of their fellow humans would rise more than 100 million. They died not only through wars between nations, but through mass exterminations and genocides, such as the murder of 20 million class enemy spies and traitors in the Soviet Union under Stalin, or the unspeakable horrors of the Holocaust in Nazi Germany. Yeah, but the swastika is not a sign of hate. Fuck y'all. Or a noose. I can't believe... Ugh, okay, never mind. They also died in countless smaller internal conflicts, such as the Spanish Civil War, or during the Khmer Rouge regime in Cambodia, when a quarter of that country's population was murdered. That is fucking crazy. I'm lighting up. I'm just getting cleansing some more energy in here, because this is... I love the way Palo Santo smells. We only need to watch the daily news on television to realize the madness has not abated, that it is continuing into the 21st century. Another aspect of the collective dysfunction of the human mind is the unprecedented violence that humans are inflicting on other life forms in the planet itself. The destruction of oxygen-producing forests and other plants and animal life, ill treatment of animals in factory farms, a poisoning of rivers, oceans, and air, driven by greed. Ignorant of their connectedness to the whole, humans persist in behavior that, if continued unchecked, can only result in their own fucking destruction. It's like that song, how can we sleep when our beds are burning? The collective manifestations of the insanity that lies at the heart of the human condition constitute the greater part of human history. It is to a large extent a history of madness. If the history of humanity were the clinical case history of a single human being, the diagnosis would have to be chronic paranoid delusion, a pathology, propensity to commit murder, and acts of extreme violence and cruelty against his perceived enemies. His own unconsciousness projected outward, criminally insane with a few brief, lucid intervals. Fear, greed, and the desire for power are the psychological motivating forces, not only behind warfare and violence between nations, tribes, religions, ideologies, but also the cause of incessant conflict in personal relationships. They bring about a distortion in your perception of other people and yourself, and through them you misinterpret every situation, leading to misguided action designed to rid you of fear and satisfy your need for more, a bottomless hole that can never be filled. Bezos, Musk, Trump, all of you fuckers, and Benjamin Netanyahu, there's so many on that fucking list I could go. It is important to realize, however, that fear, greed, and the desire for power are not the dysfunction that we are speaking of, but are themselves created by the dysfunction, which is a deep-seated collective delusion that lies within the mind of each human being. A number of spiritual teachings teach us to let go of fear and desire, but those spiritual practices are usually unsuccessful. They haven't gotten to the root of the dysfunction. Fear, greed, and desire for power are not the ultimate causal factors. Trying to become a good or better human being sounds like a commendable and high-minded thing to do, yet it is an endeavor you cannot ultimately succeed in unless there's a shift in consciousness. This is because it is still part of the same dysfunction, a more subtle and rarefied form of self-enhancement, of desire for more, and strengthening of one's conceptual identity, one's self-image. You do not become good by trying to be good, but by finding the goodness that is already within you and allowing that goodness to emerge. But it can only emerge if something fundamental changes in your state of consciousness. Like looking in the fucking mirror and admitting what a piece of shit or cunt you've been. The history of communism, originally inspired by noble ideas, clearly illustrates what happens when people attempt to change external reality, create a new earth, without any prior change in their inner reality, their state of consciousness. They make plans without taking into account the blueprint for dysfunction that every human being carries within, the ego. All right, I'm going to stop there. That was perfect for what I'm telling you. Thank you, God. It's really cool how I literally prayed for, where are you, universe? Where are you, God? And to read that helped me calm my little feisty heart on what's going on in the world today. And right before I jumped on here, I had to shift gears from the Epstein stuff, and I was listening to my tarot novella, and one that it said under heavy attack. And I was like, well, if I channeled the Earth Angel, I kind of feel like I'm spiritually under heavy attack. And that could be just by I've been in a good place the last few weeks, but this week it's been hard. I'm not going to lie. Saturday was great, but since Saturday, it's just been like trying to swim in quicksand or mud, and I've been really tired every day that I've gotten home. And so I did listen to it, and it was, although it was about the evil cabal really using as much force as they can, because they really are, in this for entertainment purposes only story. I mean, they're being exposed. It's not just one light worker, it's all the light workers across the world, grid workers or whatever you call them, that are under heavy, heavy attack right now. And I pray, because I do believe in this project, that if anyone's catching on to this storyline like I am, and telling the story and helping transmute some of this negative energy, that we continue to keep our head above water, or if we are drowning, we learn to breathe underwater like I had to, and that we don't give up hope. And yes, we may ask, where the fuck are you, universe? And I promise our ancestors are holding the line for us. They are. And we shouldn't give up yet. Ever. Never surrender. But TikTok, motherfuckers. TikTok. To the evil cabal. They're going down. And I'm here for it. I will hold the line as long as I need to. I will continue to work on myself and share this project, or my journey at least, in hopes that I can inspire other people that are probably going through some really harsh shit too. You know, the world is really, it's been set up that way by really dark, evil forces, or just pieces of shit that don't give a fuck, that, you know, pay us little money and want us in survival mode so that we're not creative, working on these Earth Angel projects, or, you know, actually looking into ourselves and trying to heal, and taking time away from being slaves for their corporations. And, you know, don't give up. There is a new Earth coming. There is. These fuckers don't want it, because they can't control it and they can't be a part of it. And we're taking their motherfucking money, those cunts. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Not because I'm a greedy bitch, but because it's what they think makes them powerful. So then let's make those fuckers powerless. I'm excited for that. So hang in there. I know this was a long one. It was my therapy, because I feel better after that. And now I can go to work and handle those there's not many motherfuckers. I can go to work and be inspired by the people that are there trying their best to recover. And if I can feed their souls, like literally feed them, and give them good juju every day that they come in and I talk to them, then they help fill my souls. And I tell you, once again, I am better surrounded by those people than I would have been at that fucking White House dinner with sellouts and pieces of shit that only care about money and power. They have so much less courage than the people that I see every day in that recovery center. So, thank you, universe, for reminding me who the fuck I am. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And if things are heavy for you, I am sending you love and light. And I hope to encourage you to go on your own spiritual adventure and spiritual journey. I promise you it's worth it. I love you. Bye.